Veterinary medicine is experiencing a technological revolution. Endoscopic surgeries, once reserved for only human medicine, are now available for your pets. As in human surgeries, endoscopic surgery is minimally invasive, making the procedures more precise, safer, and much more pain-free. Procedures that can be done endoscopically cover the spectrum from diagnostic and exploratory to spays and joint surgeries.
I was a hard sell because I've been spaying dogs and cats for so many years conventionally, and I just didn't really see that there was going to be a big need for change, and finally decided to kind of open my blinders a little bit and look at the possibilities and the potential, and it's phenomenal. I'm very excited now about an opportunity to do kind of the same old thing in a much more professional, much more effective way. It's a new way. It's a new way of doing what we've done for years, but it's so much better. And I think it's anyone who has had open abdominal surgery versus laparoscopic surgery, they really know the difference. There's no comparison.
I'm the veterinary nurse or veterinary technician. I'm one of the internship coordinators for the Bell Ray Institute of Animal Technology, where veterinary technicians go to school.
My name is Deb Ferlin, and I'm the customer care manager for Table Mountain Animal Center. I am responsible for adopting the animals out here, as well as making sure that all of them are spayed or neutered before they go home. We adopt out roughly 100 animals a week, and probably 85 to 95% of those animals are not spayed or neutered when they come in here.
Well, wanted to share our experience. We had two of our dogs spayed with the laparoscopic method.
And it was remarkable to see the surgery, such a huge surgery be done with such a little incision, less invasive, very little blood.
In the sense of having post-operative bleeding, I think it's much safer. In my opinion, it's much safer because those bellies are dry. Those bellies are completely dry when we close them, and they don't change.
Depending on the size of the dog, the scar is anywhere from about 4 inches to 6 inches or better. And with the lap spay, it's maybe as big as the first joint in your thumb. It's nothing. With a traditional spay, when they get back here, they spend all night basically recovering, and 9 times out of 10 the next day, they're still not quite up to par, which is nice when you have, a bouncy dog. It gets really kind of quiet, but you can't tell their true personality for probably 2 or 3 days. It takes a while for their appetite to come back. The lap assist phase, the recovery time on them is so far less than it is in a traditional spay. The animal comes back here, and honestly, unless you knew that the dog went to the vet that day, you'd never know. They come back here, their appetite is completely back, they're not sleepy, they're running, they're jumping, they're playing. There's absolutely no downtime as far as somebody wanting to come in and visit with the animal. We don't have to worry about it because they're their same old self within 24 hours.
Clients go home knowing how much better. They comment continually on how they've had trouble holding their dogs back the next day. They're just so ready to move, and so we really, if we have any problem, it's kind of holding them down and keeping them from moving around too much for the first day or two after surgery.
Once she recovered fully from the anesthesia, from the grogs from that, she was up running around wanting to jump and play. I had to probably keep her a little more sedate than she wanted to be, just because I wanted her to recover fully. So I think the recovery time is just incredible with laparoscopic surgery.
We just were so impressed at how quickly the female dogs recovered in comparison to the other two dogs from their laparoscopic spay procedure. But they really felt like running around, and they were eating and drinking like usual. And they, sometimes if they're not feeling good, they'll sit or go into their house or something and not want to hang out with the other dogs, but they just wanted to get right back in the game.
Most pet owners always want what's best for their pet. And this is not difficult to talk to people about because they either know of or they themselves have had laparoscopic procedures, and pain is a big part of ownership, responsible ownership. People hate to see their pets in pain. That's something they just cannot tolerate. And I think once I saw the difference and I explained to them the difference, when people would go home, they'd say, "Gosh, that was right. I'm like, I can't believe how much less pain she was in."
She seemed to be in little or no pain at all.
No pain medications whatsoever with the lap spay.
The vet sent home an anti-inflammatory medication, not a narcotic pain medication. So, you kind of, I guess I'm a human doctor, and it's kind of the equivalent of a woman having an abdominal hysterectomy, and they send her home with Advil and and naproxen and Tylenol, and it was like nothing had ever happened to her. She was just, the next day we brought her home, she was just running and playing, and I gave her some of the anti-inflammatories kind of as a matter of course, but it was just an absolute night and day difference.
A lot less pain medication needs to go home. These pain medications are not without, they're good and they're necessary, but they're not without potential complications and side effects. We have to give a minimum in cases of laparoscopic surgery.
And I think the animal is in much less pain, therefore they're happier, which makes owners happier.
The pain factor is not just subjective. The pain factor is objective. It was measured in a really excellent paper in the American Veterinary Medical Association journal, and measurably it was 65% less than conventional surgery.
Well, I just think that the laparoscopic spay is such a way to go. I mean, I feel like your dogs are your kind of, unconditional loving companions for life, and it is a slight extra cost, but whatever that is so worth it to pay, to not have to worry about them, hurting or getting dehydrated, and just to see them back to their normal self again.
The quality, in my opinion, of the surgery far outweighs the slightly additional cost.
It's a little more expensive, but I do think that the benefits outweigh the cost.
I would definitely recommend the lap spay because it doesn't do anything to them, honestly. I mean, they come home, they're the same animal, and it's done and over with. I would absolutely recommend it.
The benefits of laparoscopic procedures to the patient: number one, pain control and ease of delivery of the service, and much less complication, less pain medication that needs to go home, and less potential side effect from those medications.
I would say that should just be the standard procedure for all spays. It's amazing.
Your pets give you unquestioned love and affection. When they depend on you for health care, give them the very best. Endoscopic surgery is safer, has much quicker recovery time, and is 65% less painful for your best friends.